Imagine this. You hear about random young girls going missing in your town. They are just ordinary people living their lives and suddenly they vanish. Now imagine that it is someone that you think you know, but you have no memory of it. How far would you go to find out the truth? That is the dark and gripping premise of Amal Neerad's Bougainvillea. So is the entire film as intriguing as the plot? Let's find out. The plot of the film opens with a freak accident that happens with both of our leads, Dr. Royce Thomas, which is played by Kunchako Bobin, and Ritu, played by Jyotirmai. And this role also marks her return to films after more than a decade-long gap. Ritu suffers from retrograde amnesia due to the accident, but the couple still make it work. But their peaceful setting is suddenly shattered by the mysterious disappearance of a young girl. Enter ACP David Koshi, played by Fahad Fasil, the investigating officer who is determined to solve this case. But what seems like a routine investigation quickly unravels into a complex psychological battle with hidden motives, moral ambiguities, and shocking secrets coming to light. While the story has its fair share of twists and turns, they are still to an extent guessable. Okay, like for example, I always thought that something was off with you-know-who's behavior. And it crossed my mind several times that maybe this person is the real culprit. But I would say that even if you are able to kind of guess, the viewing experience still does not get shattered that much. Amal Neerad, who is known for his intense visual storytelling, gives Bougainvillea a very moody, almost claustrophobic kind of atmosphere. His direction heightens the tension and the paranoia that builds throughout the film. Though some might feel that his signature style is becoming a little predictable, here it works to pull the audience deeper into the mystery. His stylized storytelling comes into full force in the second half of the film, and in all honesty, I thought that he could have done away with it. And I say this because while the entire setup was happening in the first half of the film, yes, it is stylized, visually very appealing, but it is also quite gritty. This grittiness gets actually replaced by, for the lack of a better word, massiness in the second half. I wish that the action that was shown to us was as gory and horrific to watch. For me, and this is just my opinion obviously, the massy feel of that action takes away a certain sense of horrificness and the gravity of that particular situation. Additionally, cinematographer Anand C. Chandran does a remarkable job of making the landscape seem both beautiful and menacing. Every shadowy alleyway, every room in Royce and Ritu's house, every darkened corner feels like it's hiding something sinister. The visual storytelling is as much a part of the suspense as the plot itself. I mean, to make a beautiful plant like Bougainvillea look scary is definitely a skill. Additionally, the camera work done when Ritu is trying to remember something, and basically when we see the world from her POV, is remarkably executed. Sushin Shyam's music plays a critical role in elevating the tension in Bougainvillea. His haunting score weaves through the scenes, amplifying the eeriness of the disappearances and the psychological depth of the film. I also saw many comments in my music channel asking me to react to the song Stuti. I was planning to react to it, but then I watched the film before and this song actually gets played in the end of the film. And yes, the song is very groovy and catchy to listen to, but it is the picturization of the song which really caught my attention. Jyotirmai and Kunchako, wow, the choreography is insane. They danced so well. I mean, I knew Kunchako is a really good dancer, but Jyotirmai was also fabulous. However, I found out that the song has faced some sort of controversy and backlash. So what is that about? Please write in the comments. The score surely remains one of the biggest highlights of the film, and Sushin Shyam definitely was able to weave magic and mystery, especially in Jyotirmai's parts. The sound design also done is so well, specifically for her parts, because when she's trying to remember something or when she's feeling threatened, there is this bizarre sound effect that happens in the theater and you can only feel it in that Dolby surround sound. I think that was brilliantly done. Let's start with Kunchako Bowman. He shines as Dr. Royce. He gave a very restrained yet powerful performance. I absolutely loved the gradual evolution of his character traits and how the writing actually dives into the mental space, and he was able to grasp all of those nuances. More of this, Kunchako, please. More of this. I want more of this. Such a talented actor. But it is Jyotirmai's portrayal of Ritu which takes the center stage. She delivers a powerful performance filled with tension and vulnerability. In my trailer trailer reaction itself, I had said it, that when you have a central character dealing with amnesia and then you have a mystery thriller attached to it, the interest increases multifold. But then to play such a character is also a difficult task. But Jyotirmay definitely has passed with flying colors. She is the star of this film. Fahad Fazil, as always, brings his trademark intensity to the role of ACP David Koshi, though the character follows a very cookie-cutter template of this determined investigative officer who wants to solve this case. I mean, we have seen this kind of character portrayed by so many actors in a film. So maybe this is a bias, but Fahad's screen presence definitely adds that added excitement. Visually, Bougainvillea excels with a foreboding atmosphere that draws the viewers into its world of dread and mystery. Amal Neerad's direction, paired with Chandran's cinematography, ensures that the film feels very, very immersive, pulling into its psychological and physical environments. The themes of mental trauma, childhood upbringing, a patriarchal setup, deception, fear, guilt makes this film definitely much more than a surface level thriller. However, it's not without its flaws. For me, the pacing could have been a little bit tighter, especially in the second half. Though a lot of people say that they found the pacing a little bit slower in the first half, I honestly did not feel that. This is a gripe that I can live with. The major flaw or major issue for me was the shift in the tonality of the film between the first half and the second half. The shift from grittiness to massiness wasn't that well balanced for me. It is not a crime to have massy scenes in a thriller. Honestly, it is not. But I think there has to be a certain balance, because in the first half, when you're setting that context and when you're setting a certain style of visual storytelling, and then there's a shift, so it felt a little bit odd for me. Though I'm sure a good chunk of people would have found that very much satisfactory and they would have enjoyed those action scenes a lot. Some characters, like Fahad's character, feels a little underdeveloped, but then it was probably not the biggest requirement of the film to have the ACP's character be churned out in a very detailed manner. The big reveals for me were somewhat predictable. Like I said, I could guess, but of course for others it might be the case that, oh, they would be shocked with those reveals. Still, I would say the film managed to keep me hooked given the compelling performances by these actors. So yes, those were my thoughts on the Malayalam film Bougainvillea. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and any of the films that I missed out on watching in September, please let me know on the OTT releases. If you have any idea of when the films are going to be released, I will definitely read those in the comments and take cognizance of that. So yeah, that was the review, and let me know your thoughts, and I'm going to sign off from this video now, and I will see you soon on my next one. Bye!